Hi guys, welcome back to Harping on the Past,
a Theater Kid podcast where we talk about theater, past, present, and probably the future. And you guys, this is such a very special episode because I am joined by a very good friend of mine,
Kiara Hudlin.
Yay! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that you're here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So, guys, Sheradyn is once again not in the building because Sheradyn has left the country.
Where's Sheradyn?
Sheradyn is in Mississippi.
Oh,
so
wow.
we always say
she left the country.
That's our running bit is we say every time we're not in the state, we left the country.
There you go. Okay.
So I'm joined by the wonderful Kiara, and I'm so freaking excited that we're finally doing this.
Me too.
Because we've been talking about doing this since we got cast in this show that we're doing.
That part.
And so now we're finally doing it and making it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about who you are really quick and what you do here?
Oh, yeah. So, hi. I'm Kiara. Most of my life, I've been a performer. That's mainly my thing. I started show choir and piano lessons and all those things at the age of 7. Performed through high school, performed in college, at Humboldt State, traveling and all of that jazz. And then COVID hit, and we all know how that went.
Of course.
And being a theater major, I was like, what's next for me? What do I know outside of this? And then luckily I found New Village Arts in Carlsbad, and I got hired. I started as the lead patron services representative, helping lead the front of house team and group sales, ticket sales, all that. And then I was a programs coordinator, and now I am the education and fellowship manager here at New Village Arts and an actor.
You are literally killing the game. I just want to say
you.
that is so freaking cool, and I just love that you not only get to act, but you're doing literally so much in the theater community, and I love it. I love it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. So I guess we could talk about how we met really quick.
Yeah.
Because do you have a first memory of how we first interacted or met?
I think it was 12/22. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. Yes. Now that I said it. So I think the first time I really met you was callbacks for 12/22, and what was the other one?
The Color Purple.
Callbacks for 12/22 in The Color Purple, and I thought we were gonna read together, and we were the only ones there for the callback of 12/22. So it was just you and me.
It was just us.
That part, and then I thought I was just in there to read a side or something like that, and then they had called you in to read, I think, the same side but opposite or something. And so I thought we were going to read together. So I got up on that stage with you, and Candace was like, girl, I said go take a break.
She said, oh, okay, got it.
Literally. Yeah. And that was the first moment, honestly. Yeah. And I think ever since then, especially because that was such an awkward moment for me, I was like, yeah, we cool.
Yeah, we cool.
That part.
We're fine.
Yeah.
No, I think so too. I think we may have met probably at some point during Ferryman.
Yes.
I'm sure. Because I knew I recognized you at that
too.
Callback. But I'm terrible with names, guys.
No, you're so bad.
I remembered some of the MVA stuff, and then the rest I was like, oh my God, they're gonna hate me. But it's fine. And then really that first day of rehearsal for us was the first time I was okay, this cast is going to be amazing. Just because I felt we connected so quickly. And we hadn't even read the script yet.
Yeah.
We did not start reading that script until a week or two later. But we did it, and I feel we had just a great connection with each other, and that was super, super cool.
I agree. And that's the thing. It's I remembered you from the Ferryman, but I feel the first time we really got to meet and talk was with the process of 12/22.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That part.
So we do a little segment on our podcast called Why Am I Getting Hired or Why Am I Getting Fired?
Okay.
And what this is basically it can be anything. It can be something fun. It could be something serious about theater, or it can just be something completely random. So I'll start off just to kind of lead you in. But I am getting hired because I don't know why I'm getting hired, actually. I don't know why I started with that. I'm getting hired because I get recognized in the streets.
Oh, period.
People know who I am.
That part.
No, that is a total lie.
Hey, but I'm here for it. You had me fooled.
I just wanted to bring up, because today, actually, this happened. a mere hour ago before I got here. Yes, I was leaving work to come here, and I was walking out of the store and making my way, and this lady kind of made eye contact with me, and I was like, "Oh, hi," like, Trader Joe's employee. But she was like, "You're in a Christmas show." And I was like, "Stop." I was like,
God.
I was like, "Yeah, I am." She's like, "Oh my goodness, like we just saw it like last week." I was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming." Like,
that's so sweet.
It was so sweet. I guess she knows one of our cast members in the show.
Right on.
She's their neighbor, and so she came to see the show, and that's super cool. To get recognized in public is always something kind of weird, but I mean, it kind of makes you feel like a celebrity for a second.
That part, like in Humboldt County, because Humboldt is so small. If you've ever been to Humboldt, it's a small little town. But up there doing theater, especially in the college town, everybody knew it was you. Like I would be walking to the grocery store and people would be like, "Hey, I saw you in that play, right?" Right, exactly. It's crazy. And then coming back to San Diego, I was like, "Oh, that doesn't happen."
You're like, "Oh, everyone does theater."
Yeah, here. I said, Big world.
I did get recognized for Ferryman when I went to see someone else's show. Nice. And I was like, I'm so honored because I was only in that play for like 2 seconds.
That part, I feel you.
But yeah, so that's why I'm getting hired because, I'm an up-and-coming celebrity here in the San Diego theater scene.
That part. We love to see it. Am I getting hired or am I getting fired? Which is it?
What is it today? Who knows?
I think today I'm getting hired because I'm always at least like 2 hours early.
And that is right. I love that so much.
That part, like, I really don't play when it comes to that. And I think specifically for performances and shows and stuff, I'm very much so a person where I like to take my time. Yes. I don't like to rush. And with this show, I wear a wig, so I'm making sure my hair is twisted back, good to go, things like that. And yeah, but I feel like that may not be the best thing because then I'm looking at everybody else and I'm like, why are you late?
Right. No, I know. I'm the same way. But
right.
I don't like that stress of, if there's only 30 minutes before the show, I don't like that. I need time to like get into that headspace. So I feel like at least an hour before is when I like to be there. An hour and a half is probably where I'm most comfortable.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't have very much to do, but I feel more comfortable getting to the space early, getting in that headspace, putting on my costume. So I'm not rushing to do it.
Exactly.
And it feels like that is the proper way to start the
I agree because when people are late and they're rushing and stuff, I'm like, how you gonna get it together?
Yeah, I'm like, how are we gonna be connected on this stage if you are already like somewhere else in the mind?
But also at the same time, I feel like hats off to those people who can still be on top of their stuff like after rushing and all that or running late because I feel like that might mess with my mind a little bit.
Yeah. But power to those people.
That part.
I heard like, who was it? I think it's like. It was Jonathan Groff or something like who has like a reputation of like apparently showing up like 5 minutes before the curtain opens.
Oh no.
And I'm like, that makes me so angry.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry. I don't care how professional you are.
That part.
That is so disrespectful to your cast and your crew and just to your understudies who are like prepping to get on and then all of a sudden like, oh, just kidding.
Right. And it's like, dang well your call time is not 5 minutes before curtain. Like, get there when your call time says to be there, at least.
And I totally understand if, like, it's a one-time thing.
Yes.
Life happens. We're people. But from what I've heard, like, from people who've worked with him, it's, like, a consistent thing. And I'm like, that's so not cool, dude.
That's tea. Yeah, no, couldn't be me.
That is the tea.
You talented. But I was like, what?
But do not, like, come on, like... Let's be professional.
That part. I don't know.
So currently we are in a production called 1222 Oceanfront, A Black Family Christmas. Yes. And this is a newer production. This is only the second time it's been fully staged. Last year it was presented as a staged reading. Right. And this is a show about a woman named Dorothy Black who has two sons, James Jr. and Javier. And... James Jr. is married to Adia, played by Kiki, and Javier has a boyfriend named Brian who is constantly missing out on the family functions and is always late. And then they are also joined by Aunt Lizzie and their Uncle June, who has passed away but is constantly present in the form of a Santa-themed urn. and it's just fun. But so how did you feel when you got cast for this show?
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. When I first got cast for the show, I was excited. I think I was a tad bit hesitant.
Of course.
Because I knew last year it wasn't originally supposed to be a staged reading, but that's what ended up happening.
Yeah.
You know, just certain things behind the scenes that I know from working here as an administrator.
Right.
Things like that. But at the same time, when I first saw the show in 2021, I was like, oh, I have to be up there with that.
Yeah,
I was like, this is a good time. It's a vibe, you know? So it was very much so a push and pull. And it took a little bit of convincing, you know, a little bit of thinking, but overall, I'm so grateful.
Yeah,
I'm really happy I joined this cast. The cast is amazing.
Yes.
Like, I love our cast. It's just so much fun. And the audience members constantly are coming up to us and they're like, y'all are having a great time.
Yeah,
like, y'all love each other. Exactly. Y'all seem like a family. And it's so true. Yeah. Like, we have such a good time up there. I think for me, I was just a little bit nervous about time.
Of course.
In the process, especially just coming from my prior experiences doing theater in Humboldt and like in college and stuff like that, and coming here, I was like, I just feel like rehearsals are so much shorter.
Right.
Like the rehearsal process is so much shorter.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's just hard kind of working somewhere as an administrator and acting there because it's like time.
Yeah.
You know, and,
for sure.
and where's the line of when you're the actor and the administrator?
Exactly.
Sometimes. So
yeah. No, I totally get that because I was in the same boat with you, if I'm being honest. I talked about this when I first got cast way back in October. It was kind of like a last minute thing, and I was hesitant too to sign on because you know, I had auditioned for the show back in August, and then we didn't hear anything back until October. And so I was like, is this like enough time to like do this show and do it justice and make sure that we look good on that stage? And then, yeah, so like I was hesitant too, but I mean, it's been so rewarding getting to meet and work with everyone. So that I'm forever grateful for. Part. And I think it really is something special now that it is finally up on its feet.
Yes.
But it was, you know, we're going to keep it real. Like, it was difficult getting there. But that is theater. Like, that happens. But, you know, it's a very, very special show. And especially, too, getting cast in the role that I got cast in, knowing I'm like, okay, like, this is cool. I'm not on stage very, very much. And there was another show that I had auditioned for that I was waiting to hear back from, and I really liked that show and I wanted to say yes to it. And then I'm very glad I said yes to this because that other show ended up getting canceled anyway. Ooh. So, you know, it worked out for the best. But, you know, I was keeping it real. I was like, maybe, but I'm very glad that we're doing it now.
Yes.
So what got you into theater?
Let me start off by saying, well, first, for anybody watching this, guess in the comments, what's my sign?
Okay. Yes. What are our signs? Because I love that.
That part, only because I'm just interested, but it'll definitely tie into how I got into theater.
Okay.
Spoiler, I'm a Leo. Needless to say.
You had 2 seconds to guess.
You had 2 seconds. But yeah, I just think my whole life, I've been like fond of the spotlight, like, I don't want to be like attention, but kind of like attention. Yeah. And also, if we really want to get into it, I'm like, a single mother raised me, you know, it's always been us. So as a child, like, you are kind of always looking for that attention in a way because it's just you and your mom. But anyways, theater. Yeah, it started when I was 7. I was taking piano lessons at the Boys and Girls Club of Vista. I started taking piano lessons.
You know, it's funny because my co-host Sheradyn got started with like the Boys and Girls Club too.
Oh my gosh!
Theater, so
wow, that's crazy. Which Boys and Girls Club? Do you know?
Marietta.
Okay,
so up there.
That part. It happens. Yeah, so I started taking piano lessons. I started singing. I started doing show choir and things like that. And I don't know where she is today, but Johnny Johnson, at the Boys and Girls Club. She was the one who created like the theater program at the Boys and Girls Club of Vista. And she just honestly changed my life. Like at the age of 7, we were doing performances at the Avo Playhouse in Vista Village.
Wow.
Like she had me singing the national anthem for these events and stuff in Oceanside and at the amphitheater in Oceanside for a marathon. I was like 9 years old at that time. You know what I'm saying? And did it work out? No. The runners started running before I could sing the national anthem.
Stop, you're lying.
They did. I was like, wait. And then some of them were like, oh, but go up there and sing anyways. So most people had ran away, and I'm over there trying not to cry on the mic. Like, literally. So yeah, that's how it started. And I don't know, I've just always liked the stage and the spotlight, and it just feels good. And I think it's also the community aspect of theater.
Yeah.
And how much effort it takes to put on a show. Like it's everybody. It's not just you know?
It's a huge collective effort. And I think people do tend to forget about that. Because I feel like, honestly, the first thought that comes to theater is the actors.
Right.
Because, they are, the face of the production. You see them the most when you go to see theater. They're the people that are in front of your face.
Right.
But, I mean, I remember just when I did Ferryman, writing thank you notes. And I was like, not just to the cast, but I was like, I have to write one for the box office staff. Because, they work so hard. Because I used to work box office, and I would have appreciated a thank you card, especially when I did this one show called The Music Man, and we got delayed for like 15 minutes because one of the actors' grandmothers was upset with their seats.
Oh, no.
And was holding up the line, and I was the only one working at the time, would not settle with any of the seats I was offering her. And then finally, like, the sound designer had to come down and was like, hey, what's going on? I was like, we can't start the show because half the people aren't in their seats yet.
Yeah.
So
that's wild.
People in all aspects, our stage managers, our assistant stage managers, and the people who run the theater just do so much to make a production happen. And it's just so much respect for you, because you're not only acting on stage, you were doing so many other things around here to like make this place function, and like you're doing the damn thing.
Thank you. That's definitely something I need to work on, and so many of my coworkers here have told me, they're like, recognize the work that you're doing.
Yes.
Like you're doing a good job, and it's just, yeah, I don't know, it's hard. And I think a lot of these feelings come from when COVID hit, because I'm like, I didn't finish college.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect to be here. So just the fact that I have accomplished these things and I am getting these opportunities and putting all the educational programming together for an art center is like mind-blowing to me. It's crazy, but I'm constantly learning, like constantly, asking questions, and I'm grateful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's cool.
It's very cool.
That part.
Yeah. So I did think of a topic on my way down here, and I was like, I don't know if we'll get into it, but I figure why not. So one of the things about theater that I think is, one thing that it's so special because it's live, but sometimes people make the choice to capture it on video, and sometimes illegally, but most of the time there's pro shots. And I just wanted to talk about this really quickly because there's all kinds of different versions of this, and I know you were gonna go see Renaissance.
I did.
Did you like it?
Yeah. Let me tell you.
Yes, please.
If anybody knows me, I don't care who's around. I'm having a good time.
That's right.
And that I was really in my seat. I was jamming. Now, I wasn't one of those people standing up and was like singing all loud, doing all the choreo. No, that wasn't me. But I was singing a little bit.
But I mean, like, that's fun to do that.
I know. I've seen all the clips of everybody doing every ounce of choreography and all of that.
Jamming to it.
Yes. And I was like, that might be a little bit much, but they're having a great time.
Yeah.
They're having a great time, and that's okay. But yeah, I had a good time. There were like 4 people, like a couple seats down in my row that kept looking at me, and I was like, what's up?
I'm like, hi.
That part.
I'm like, yes, I know. I'd be impressed by my talent too. So.
Truly.
So, because you saw that, I saw Waitress.
Yes.
Which was incredible. I saw it twice, you guys.
I need to see it.
And it's so good. But so it just got me thinking, I'm like, about the concept of doing, a pro shot for the show. And I feel like there are some people like who are so like against, filming a show, and some people who are very for it. So I just want to know, like, what are your opinions on like filming a show?
Yeah. I mean, personally, I don't know. I'm not really against them filming it because I'm thinking accessibility.
Of course.
Yes, and that's one of the main reasons why I appreciated Renaissance, a film by Beyonce, because, honey, I could not pay tickets for that tour.
That's right. Yes.
I really couldn't. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's in movie theaters. I only get to see it for like $22. That's really cool. So yeah, I don't see an issue really. Is there an issue?
No. Well, because with pro shots, that is the legal way of doing it. But some people are really hell-bent on slam tutorials and bootlegs. And I totally get it. However, I had a professor in college who was very much like, I'm not condoning that you go and break the law to record the show. However, if there is a version of it on YouTube that managed to not be distracting to capture it, I'm all for watching it because of accessibility.
That part.
I've talked about this on the podcast, and I've talked about this with you, and I know I'm in the minority of this, but my thing with listening to a show cast recording and not liking to do that, because if I haven't seen it, I feel like I can't enjoy it.
Okay.
So I don't like to listen to cast recordings unless I've seen the show. And so sometimes, the very first time I saw Waitress was a slam tutorial. And after I watched it, I was like, okay, now I can go back and listen to the music because I know what's going on.
Right.
And I don't have any regrets doing that.
No. So a slam tutorial is like a bootleg, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That is the
watched
cool
that.
kid way of saying it.
That
but,
part.
That's how I saw Wicked for the first
Me
time.
Me too.
What else have I seen?
Falsettos?
Some of that. That one was on Broadway HD, so I did see some of it the legal way.
That part I didn't.
The SpongeBob musical, before that was a pro shot. I saw that. And Dear Evan Hansen, the first time I saw it was a bootleg. But because my biggest thing with that is I feel like, and I've talked about this in college, I'm like, theater, as much as we want to preach is for everybody, it's really not.
That part?
Because theater is super expensive.
Yes. I've never been to New York. I've never seen a Broadway show. And I've been acting my whole life, genuinely, but I've never been to a regional show. Wow. I've never been to the San Diego Civic.
Yeah,
I've never had those experiences.
It's expensive.
It is expensive.
But but that's what I mean, because I feel like so many, some people, especially professionals, and I'm like, I want to know, were you always able to just access this theater growing up? Because I think that's very cool, and I totally understand and want to respect rules and not want to ruin the magic of things. But if I didn't have these bootlegs, then I probably wouldn't be able to see any of these shows ever.
Exactly.
And there's just a magic to it, and you don't always get that from reading a script, because reading a script is a kind of reading in an art form that is very, very hard. When Cursed Child, Harry Potter, came out as a script, I read it, but I wasn't picturing it as a play. I was picturing a movie, because that's what I'm used to with Harry Potter.
Right.
And then seeing the show for the first time, I was like, oh my God, this is something totally different and not at all what I was reading in my head.
Right.
But I'm so glad I'm seeing it here, because they are adding to the magic and making everything come to life.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's just me.
That's real.
And then also, I feel like there's a debate of do you still experience the same magic with a pro shot as when you get to experience it live?
Well, here's the thing. I think that might be a bit hard for me to say, because I don't think I've seen the pro shot. I don't think I have a show where I have seen both the pro shot and it live.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure I can compare the two on the same show, but I think personally, I don't know. I think it's great. Yeah. I think a pro shot is great, and I think it's still an awesome experience personally. But I just love theater.
Yeah.
I do too. Right? Even watching the pro shot, I'm I'm just lucky to be here.
I got so emotional when I went to see Waitress. Because I just had this moment, and the first time I saw it, I was like, okay, no one's going to be here because I'm like, I hate to say that, but I'm like, it's a pro shot of a show that, has closed on Broadway. Like, it's not really all too relevant at the moment, or it seems like it's, in the media too much. So I was like, it's just going to be me. But I went to this theater and it was, not like full, but there was a good amount of people there. Okay. And these people were watching this pro shot like it was a live performance. Like, people were clapping at the end of the numbers. That makes me so happy. They were laughing, and it made me so happy. And then at the very end, I was having this moment. I'm like, wow, theater is so beautiful. Yes. And I started getting very emotional. And then they also did a very sweet in loving memory and tribute to Adrienne Shelley, who wrote the original movie and played Dawn in the movie. And then also to Nick Cordero, who played Earl and passed away tragically due to COVID complications.
I'll never forget that.
No, that was truly, I feel like in the theater world, something so devastating to hear, and it made me so emotional watching that in the pro shot. But it was fun. So you need to go see it.
I do. I was supposed to like a few nights ago, but I was so tired. I was like,
we out here doing a show. And it takes a lot of
God's
energy.
Work. That part.
Doing so much.
It's a lot. But we're grateful.
Oh, we're so grateful.
And speaking of that feeling where you're just like, theater's just so powerful. That's how I felt, I think, last weekend with one of our performances.
Yeah.
It might have been our performance for KPBS.
Yeah. So, I mean, still on that topic, like we just, we officially have our show. We got a pro shot of that.
That part.
And that will be available to the public, I think, next December, which I think is cool. Was it supposed to be this December?
I've only heard next December.
Okay, so I didn't know if it was actually going to come out this year or not, but we kept getting delayed because, y'all, we're keeping it real. We had people getting sick, and our show got canceled for 2 weekends. But
2 out of 5?
2 out of 5, I think. So, but we finally made it back, and we rocking it. But yeah, so if you guys want to see this show, 1222 Oceanfront, go to KPBS for next December, and it'll be there.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited. That's going to be so cool.
Me too.
Let's do a reunion.
That performance, the electricity from us as actors, from the audience, like, it was just amazing. I was really emotional in that curtain call. Yeah. I was just like, wow. All this hard work. It
was so fun. And they were such a good audience. And I don't think we didn't have anyone like prompting them to like laugh or react or anything.
No.
They were just laughing and reacting to stuff that people had never laughed at before.
Right.
And that just felt very, very good, especially to hear. And I'm like, oh my, because I don't show up till the end, but I'm like, my cast deserves this. Like, they are so amazing and work so hard.
That part. I love Act 2 because Jacob comes out in Act 2. Truly. It's time.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel, and I'm going to keep it real. Like, at times where I'm like, I feel like I'm acting stupid. Like, I feel like I'm not. But, that's also because my character is in the situation he's in. Like, there's a reason he's acting that way. But still, I'm like, am I doing too much? Or I'm like, am I just annoying this audience? Like, I'm constantly worried that I'm like, why is he here?
Oh, no, I get you. Honestly, I love listening to the audience's reactions when you come in. Because it's so late in the show, they're like, oh my God, wait, there's another person in the cast. They're like, I feel like there's a level of excitement there. Like, wait, he's actually here.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm rocking the princess track.
That part.
Which was a term I didn't even know until I got this show.
That's real.
I was like, oh, okay. I'll be the princess track.
Right.
So, like, what was one of your favorite shows?
Like now, like before, or
before, currently, like what's currently on your mind?
Okay, one of my favorite shows in high school, specifically senior year, because this was also my first show of senior year, and I got to play the lead, Sister Act. Sister Act musical. Yes. Dolores Van Cartier.
That's right.
Yes, that was awesome. Definitely a role I would love to play again one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, trust me, I could go on and on. Falsettos is absolutely one of my favorite shows. Like the composition of the music, the vocals, it's just, the story behind it. It's just so beautiful, so well done, and the set is minimal.
It is.
Yeah, it's minimal, and I really like that. I appreciate that. Hadestown. Hadestown is so good.
Talked about that a few times on here. Yes. We love Hadestown.
Yeah, The Color Purple. The Color Purple, the musical, is so beautiful. That's one I've been getting into a lot lately. I could go on and on.
And there's a new movie of Color Purple coming out this year.
Christmas Day.
That is so crazy. They said, oh yeah, we'll get an audience.
And I'll be there.
That's right.
Because I have zero plans. I'm like, besides seeing The Color Purple on Christmas Day.
I love that. I might have to go too. I feel like my family, Christmas Day is, we wake up, do the present thing, maybe have breakfast, and then the rest of the day we kind of just chill.
Yeah, vibe out.
So, I'd be down to go see a movie. Like, maybe I will go do that.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorites?
So, okay, we've talked about this before, but Wicked will always be one of my absolute favorites. That's why this podcast has the name it has.
I love that.
Because there's a line that Glinda says where she's like, I don't see why you can't just teach us history instead of always harping on the past. And we did that. We were at Universal Studios in line for The Mummy, and we were trying to come up with a name for this podcast because we were like, we want to do this, like we're gonna make it happen, and we couldn't come up with a name. And then we said that, we're like, yeah, Theater Kid Podcast. Wait, I think that could work. So that's where we got the name.
That's dope.
Honestly, I love the music, and the first time I saw it was such an important moment for me because I was really going through a hard time in life, and I was in college, but Dear Evan Hansen was a very big one for me. I saw the bootleg. I was in the library, and then I just started sobbing at the end of Act 1, and I was like, the words that they're singing in You Will Be Found were just so beautiful, and words that I didn't know I needed to hear at the time. So that is probably one of my favorites. And then probably more recently, The Play That Goes Wrong.
I haven't heard of it.
You've never heard of The Play That Goes Wrong?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh. We have to talk about this.
That part.
Okay, because I know most people, especially when you think of theater, most people think musical.
Right.
I tend to lean a bit more into the straight plays because that's where I get cast. I don't really get cast in musicals.
You are so funny.
And I'm just being real, guys. Like, that is just the damn truth. But The Play That Goes Wrong is this big, like, comedy. It's British humor, and it's quite literally what the title is. The Play Goes Wrong.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of like a play within a play. These actors are putting on a murder mystery show, and things just start going wrong. Like the stretcher that carries the body breaks. Pictures start falling off of the wall. They're grabbing the wrong props. Actors are getting knocked out on stage, and the stage manager has to come in and fill in for a role. It is so incredibly funny.
Yeah.
And I saw it for the first time in New York this last year with Elijah, and we were in the second row, so we were all up front for the action. But stuff like that, I love a good comedy.
Yeah. Because
I'm like, I just love to laugh.
Right.
And especially when it's done well. And then I saw a high school production of the same show, and I was like, yeah. I was like, they tried. They really did. But I mean, it's such a hard thing to try to do if you've not seen anything like that. And I can't find a bootleg or a pro shot of that show anywhere. But they do have a show called The Goes Wrong Show, which is the same original troupe, and they do different skits, and that is incredibly funny. So
right on.
I recommend giving that a watch. I think it's free right now on YouTube with like ads or something. But
yeah, that sounds awesome. I love like an immersive theater experience, you know, and just hearing the little points of the show that you said, I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
that's so cool. Like just thinking about how they make that work.
Yes,
props, like crew on top of their stuff for that show. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's such like a minimal cast. Like I feel like it's maybe a cast of, I think like 8 maybe. Okay. And because like there's the actors in the show, and then there's the people, the stage manager and the stage crew who are actors, and they at the beginning before the show even starts, they're interacting with the crowd in character, and like they're bringing people on stage to be like, hey, I need you to hold this piece here really quick for me while I drill this into the wall.
I love that.
And it's so funny. Like it's just hilarious.
Yeah, that's an experience you'll never forget.
No. Yeah. I'm so grateful for it. And And I know they have another version of the show, Peter Pan Goes Wrong, which was just on tour here in Southern California. I didn't go to it. I didn't have time. But I'd like to see it one day.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's mostly the kinds of theater that I like really like resonate with and want to get into.
Question.
Yes.
If you like that show, have you seen Evil Dead the musical?
I have not. I've not seen it.
I love Evil Dead the musical.
I've heard it's incredible though.
That was my first show in college. Like, moved in a week later, we were auditioning, and I was like, I've never heard of this in my life. What's the vibe? That show is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. And the blood and the splatter and it's great.
See, I'm jealous because I feel like no matter what, people know Evil Dead. So that's going to attract an audience and people to want to audition. My college, we weren't doing nothing like that. No, the first show that I went to see was called, I think, like Juiced Red-Nosed Clown. And I was like, what is this? So I went because I had a friend, Sheradyn, my co-host, was in it. And my best friend, I was like, let me go support my best friend. And I remember sitting there being like, huh, okay. And then I was like, so like who is this play written by? Like where did this come from? And they were like, oh, the students wrote it. And I said, the students wrote it.
It shows.
Okay, yes. And then the second show I saw called Home, and that was about homelessness, and I was like, okay, great. I was like, that sounds really, really neat. I went to their invited dress, and I said, oh, this
I'm nervous. I'm like, what you about to say?
I'm so sorry. I said, oh, this is just a presentation. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, so much respect, and I'm very happy that these shows did happen. And I think the idea for that show was amazing. The execution was a little odd.
Yeah.
And anyone involved in that show will tell you that. And then, so I was like, so this is my theater department. Is this what I want to do with my life? Like, is this really the path I want to go on?
Yeah.
And then finally, I'm not a Shakespeare fan by any means, but they did Midsummer Night's Dream.
Okay.
And I saw that and I was like, that was actually so good.
Okay.
And it restored my faith. And then I auditioned for the next season afterwards, and that's where I began college. But even still, ain't nobody ever heard of The Bald Soprano.
No.
Ain't nobody ever heard of that.
I haven't.
Nobody's ever heard of Forever Dusty the musical. So that's what I mean. We never did anything big or fun like that in college, except a couple years ago they did Seussical.
Nice.
Which sold out every single show. And they were trying to advertise that show on their website, being like, look at what we do. And I'm like, stop lying. That was 6 years ago when I got there. I'm like, you have not done anything like that ever since.
Yeah, I think we were going to do Seussical at Humboldt State right before COVID hit.
Yeah.
I don't know. So many people have brought up Seussical. Fun fact, I've never seen that show.
I've never seen it either.
Okay, great. Because everybody's like, you've never seen Seussical?
Yeah, I know. Everyone gets on me for that.
I'm like, no, I haven't.
I'm like, I'm sorry. Because, I mean, I've heard it's great. It's never been like, oh, I need to see this.
Yeah.
It's just one of those shows where it's like, I totally respect it. If there's an audition for it, and if I got the time, you know, I'm not going to turn it down.
Right.
But, yeah, admittedly, it's never been like, oh, yeah, let me go see that. You know?
That part.
No shade. No Tina shade. But that's just the truth.
Yes.
But yeah, have you ever like seen any theater that was like so like bad, or like in your opinion just was not great?
Not gonna
or maybe
lie.
like question like, is this like the path that I want to be on?
That's a good question. Not gonna lie. If I have, I probably don't remember it because I was probably drinking when I watched it.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been there.
I was like, there's certain shows where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go get an extra glass of wine.
Yes. That happened to me and my friends a few years ago. And I'm not going to say the show name. And it's fine because the theater is closed down, but it was at the San Diego Rep.
I was about to say, when you said that, I knew which one we was talking about.
And, you know, I'm just going to say, Hamilton really started something for people. And it made people want to try to replicate or like offer something similar to that, and I totally respect that.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, they overshoot the runway. And the show that I saw, we were sitting like in the second row, and I'm blaming the people I was with, because when they start laughing, then I want to start laughing.
Right.
And this, oh my God, because they were being so serious, but like, because there was rapping in this musical, but there was raps like, you lost a brother, I lost my wife and kids. You lost a brother, I lost everything I had. It's just like, it wasn't rhyming. And I was, oh my God, I was like, I can't be here. And like, we were so close. So like, these performers totally could see us. And this one girl, like, in the show was like doing her song, microphone, all serious, and like I know she was making direct eye contact with us as I was trying so hard to be like,
keeping it together.
Yeah, I was like, yes, amazing.
You go, girl.
You go, girl. You go, Glen Coco.
That is so funny. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I've actually seen a lot of bad theater.
That's good. No, I don't think I have either, except for, and like, it wasn't that it was bad. It was just different. And that's really the mindset I try to put myself in. I'm like, it's not necessarily bad. It's just theater that is not for me or that I'm accustomed to. And, you know, because most people, like I said, their idea is like musicals and mainstream Broadway, like when they think of theater.
Yeah.
So when it comes to something smaller or smaller scale, it's, you know, it might just be odd or, you know, just.
I think at the same time when I think about it, I'm like, I don't go out enough. I think I need to see more theater, and then maybe I'll be able to add to that list.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But that's fair. Oh my gosh. I don't think I have too many other topics that I wanted to get into. Fun. I'm so glad.
Like, oh my gosh, I love this.
It's
fun.
Like,
this is so cool.
I'm so I love whenever we get to have, you know, someone new come onto the podcast. It makes me so happy because this podcast was just a dream. We're like, ain't nobody gonna listen to this.
That part, I get you.
But
I get you. That's how I feel. I want to start a podcast one day, but I'm like, that feels like a lot of work.
You know, initially to get on its feet, yes, but I mean, once like you're into the groove of things, like it is so much fun.
Right on. 2024.
Can I come on it? Can I be a guest?
Oh yes.
Oh my God.
Oh yes, because we gonna be talking about everything.
Everything.
Like we really gonna be
like, I know, like, because that is like the hardest thing too, is like, because we're mostly a theater podcast, but we can talk about literally anything on here. And Sheradyn, my best friend and co-host, like sometimes we're like, we don't have a topic today. We're just gonna talk about our day. So this is what happened to me.
That's good. That's good. And like those check-ins are important too.
Yeah, they're so
important. Yeah.
So good.
That's really good.
So when if you do start a podcast, like do you want to do it by yourself or do you want to have like a permanent co-host with you?
That's been the question. I don't know. A lot of my friends in college, let me tell you, I have had so many people in my life be like, I want to start a podcast with you. Like my boyfriend. I've had like 3 different friends say it. My sister. So I think I'm going to just start my own.
Okay.
And then bring everybody on.
And then bring people in. You know, because I have so much respect to people who have a podcast who host it solo. I'm like, I don't think I could ever do that. I did it for like a split second when I was with the Ferryman cast and I didn't have a host for like about 10 minutes and I was like, this is so hard. I'm like, how do I just do this by myself?
Yeah, you know what, now that you say that, I'm like, wait, who am I gonna talk to?
Well, you know, it's just more like I feel like you need to be more prepared. Like you have to know like what you are going to discuss.
Absolutely.
I think what's cool about having a co-host is we're like, okay, yeah, we have an idea, but you don't know exactly where the conversation's gonna go eventually,
right?
Or like we might have stories or something might come up, and I think that's just very cool. Like when the conversation happens so organically.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I think when I have one, I think I want to talk about like love. I want to talk about life. I want to talk about family. I want to talk about. I'm gonna talk about everything. We're gonna talk about everything.
That's part. Right. So you don't have to like get too. You can go however deep into this you want to. Whatever makes you comfortable, but like, do you have any like future plans, upcoming things coming up with theater, or things in life?
I said, oh, we talk about that. Okay, future things. I think the next show I'll be in is The Color Purple.
Oh my god!
Here.
So you can talk about that?
Yes.
Oh my goodness!
I can talk about that. I will be in The Color Purple, the musical.
Oh
I'm so excited. Here at New Village Arts, and I believe will be the San Diego professional premiere.
So excited for you guys.
Yeah. So, big deal. Big deal.
I was rejected, but that's okay.
Why do you say it like that? No, you're so valid.
I'm just keeping it real. No, but I am genuinely so excited for you guys and the company.
Thank
I
you.
cannot wait to come and see it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know my family's super excited. I'm originally from DC, so my mom's gonna fly out. Some of my aunts will fly out. My grandma might even fly out. Who knows? That part, yeah. So I'm super excited about that. And in that show, I'll be in the ensemble, but I'll be understudying for Nettie, and this will be my first time ever being an understudy.
Congratulations!
Yeah, so I'm excited.
A wild ride,
I'm
guys.
like 2 tracks. Oh snap!
Oh, you're learning. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In total, it'll be 2 tracks.
Yep, in total.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I think, I'm like, how much of this am I trying to say? Let me say, I don't know when this will happen, but goals for the future do include moving back to the East Coast.
Of course, yeah.
Yes, I was raised in California. We moved out here when I was 5. And home has been calling me lately. Family has been calling me lately. Like, it's time. I think being out here, especially living in California, it's so expensive and you just get lonely, and I really want more emotional support, financial support.
You were raised
here in California, but I'm from DC. We moved here when I was 5.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just thought you were born and raised out there your entire life. I didn't know that.
Oh, no. No, I've been here for a minute. I've been here for a hot minute. I know my way around.
Okay.
But yeah, so the goal is to move back and eventually start taking some pottery classes, eventually starting a pottery business, like a ceramics business, and I really want to go to culinary school.
Yes.
That's the goal.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, that's the goal. And this doesn't necessarily mean that, like, I'll never act again or theater won't be in my life, but I think I'm just at a point in my life right now where I'm kind of like, what do I want?
Yeah.
And
that's something that I love about doing this podcast, because both my co-host and I are like, what has been so amazing is, just kind of documenting our lives through this and just seeing like where we were when we started,
right,
and like to where we are now. Because when we started or had the idea for the podcast, like I had not done my first professional show yet. And in that time, I'm like, I have, this is my 3rd professional show. And then my best friend is now become a teacher, like, and just like how different like our lives have turned out, and like we're so proud of it. And that's her thing too. She's like, I'm a teacher now, but that does not mean that my heart is not still in theater and however in whatever way. Like she's still maybe not like acting on stage currently, but she's helping out with our high school productions, and they're doing Mean Girls right now. And I
love that. I know they're having a blast.
Oh yeah, they just started. They just got cast. So
I love that.
I hope it's good. I'm nervous for them. I'm not gonna lie, just because it is, it's a raunchier show. And it's high school, so I do have faith in them. I know they're gonna be amazing. In the end. But that's kind of me right now too. I know once the show closes, I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't have another show booked at the moment.
Yeah.
But I do know I'm helping out with a middle school production, so it's like I still have some theater on the horizons, and it was making me sad. But I'm like, I think maybe like I have to take a little bit of break from the acting too. Yeah. Because life is expensive. I talked about this on the last episode, but I got a car, so I have a car payment. You did.
It's a nice car too.
Thank you. I know I've taken you home a few times in that car.
It's a nice car. I said, what?
You have ridden in my car probably more than anyone else. Like,
I'm honored.
Yeah, like, yeah. So congratulations. And I think Elijah's only been in it like twice.
Oh, okay, okay.
I've driven you around the most.
That part.
But yeah, I'm so freaking glad that we did this.
Me too. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I'm so excited to listen back and edit and put everything all together.
Me too.
It'll hopefully be out in like the next few days or probably next week. times are crazy, guys, and it's also Christmas this weekend. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, guys.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
So, and, also to our viewers, I'm so sorry. I'm wearing a National Lampoon Christmas Vacation shirt. So
icon.
It was a pajama day, and this is a pajama shirt.
I love that.
So
those movies are funny.
They're incredibly funny. You know, I feel like those need to be a stage show in some capacity.
Oh my goodness.
They'd be funny, right? Like,
you just thought of something.
It's my idea, guys.
That
no
part,
one can take it.
Copyright.
Or Jacob James.
Trademark, whatever it is.
Boom. But yeah, no, I do sincerely hope, like, after this show closes that we continue to hang out.
Absolutely.
Because if one, like, I mean, there were a lot of good things, but one positive thing that really came from this was just meeting you and making this incredible connection, because you truly are so, so amazing and so talented.
You're amazing.
And I'm so glad, like, I got to know you and doing this. Like, this is amazing.
Me too.
And like, I just know, I'm like, this isn't the end of our story. Like, this isn't it.
So, I told Gerald's my boyfriend, by the way. Hey, I told my sister, I was like, oh, me and Jacob, we staying friends after this.
Oh yeah, like this is
for sure.
We did a podcast, guys. It's
official.
This is a solid friendship right here. You know, like, it doesn't get more serious than this.
That part, yes. This makes me so happy. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
I appreciate it. You were a wonderful co-host
today.
Thank you. So
I know, this is my first time, y'all. How you think I did?
You know,
what does that mean?
Oh, I think we're about to die on battery.
Okay.
So, I don't know if it's still recording or not. Oh well.
It's still blinking.
Cool. This also, viewers, listeners, this is the first time we're working with this camera, so
how we look.
I hope it looks good. If not, then I apologize. We'll go back to the phone eventually, but we'll figure it out. Alrighty, guys. Have a wonderful day, evening, whenever you're listening to this. Safe drive, all the things. And thank you again, Kiara, for coming onto the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty, guys. Bye.
Bye.